Hello hockey fans and welcome back to another video. A couple of days ago, I got the chance to tick something off my bucket list that I've been wanting to do for the last 2 or 3 years now. I got the chance to sit down and have a chat with Team GB star Liam Kirk. Now those of you watching this from Great Britain will automatically know exactly who I'm talking about, especially if you're a big fan of UK ice hockey. However, since most of my audience, the vast majority of you, come from Canada and the United States, there's probably a lot of you watching this who are wondering, who is Liam Kirk? Well, Liam Kirk was the first player both born and trained exclusively in England to be selected at the NHL entry draft, when he was taken in the 7th round of the 2018 event by the Arizona Coyotes. From there, Kirk went on to spend 2 seasons in the OHL playing for the Peterborough Petes, put up some pretty respectable numbers as an overager, considering there was a huge adjustment from the European-style game to the North American style of the OHL, and also playing up against some of the best junior players in the entire hockey world. Before the current 2021 season, the OHL was cancelled, Kirk couldn't play there. He decided to move over to Sweden and play in the 3rd tier, the Hockey Etten, for a couple of weeks as a member of the Handhouse Kings. He came back to England in order to play in the IIHL's Elite Series for a couple of weeks, before joining Team Great Britain at the 2021 IIHF World Championships, currently being held in Riga, Latvia. And to say that Kirk had a pretty good tournament for himself would be the understatement of the year. Playing as a member of Team GB, Liam Kirk went on to score 7 goals during the group stage of the tournament. He also added 2 assists to make it 9 points in 7 games. Now this is an impressive stat line in and of itself. However, when you realise that Kirk led the entire group stage in goals scored by the end of that round, it really does go to show you how incredible of a performance Liam Kirk produced. By the end of the group stage, a player from the 19th ranked nation, a 21-year-old, finished the group stage with 7 goals scored, more than any other player, including some very notable current NHL players and NHL alumni. Yeah, it was a really good tournament for him, folks. But yeah, I got the chance to sit down with Kirky, talk to him all about the World Championships, his most recent 2021 season and how fragmented it was, as well as his plans for next season and beyond. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this 30-minute interview with Team GB star Liam Kirk. Enjoy, folks. So I am joined here by a very special guest on the channel today, somebody that I've wanted to interview for a very long time, and that is, of course, Liam Kirk, the Team Great Britain star, former Peterborough Pete, Sheffield Steeler forward. Anybody in UK hockey will obviously already know who Liam Kirk is, and I think there's quite a few fans across the pond in North America that have started to know who he is. So, Liam, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Good, yeah, I'm not too bad. I mean, I'm very excited to get the chance to talk to you today, so I really can't complain. So you said when we spoke before this interview, you said that you're in isolation at the moment. How's that going? You're managing to keep yourself sane?
Yeah, it's actually been not too bad. I mean, the weather's okay, so I spend a few hours outside, but other than that, it's just catching up on some Netflix and shows that I've missed and whatnot, and just trying to keep busy. A little bit of gaming, but yeah, not too bad.
What are you playing at the moment?
Warzone, just really.
Right.
Warzone, it's kind of the only thing I'm playing at the moment, yeah.
Did you get much of a chance to do anything like that when you were over in Riga? I would imagine it was very kind of regimented in the time that you had and what you were able to do.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much that's all because we were stuck in a bubble, right? So the only thing we could do was go to the rink and then back to the hotel. I mean, we had to isolate 2 days when we first got there, so that's all we did then. And then, just kind of on downtime. We had a little common room where we could hang out, but other than that, yeah, a little bit of Warzone, so got pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So I'm glad that we mentioned the World Championships, because obviously your final game, Team GB's final game, was Monday. When did you guys fly back from Riga?
Tuesday.
So it's literally the next day. Okay, so
yeah.
You've had a few days to kind of process the whole experience now. What was it like, the World Championships? Obviously, it was slightly different this year compared to 2019. Obviously, like you mentioned, the bubble and not having much freedom in terms of being able to go out and do anything. But what was the experience like as a whole for you and for Team Great Britain as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, it was like you said, it was a lot different to what we used to. We usually, on days off and downtime, we're allowed to walk around the city and stuff like that. So, we were stuck in the hotel in the bubble, like I said. So it was like I said, it was a bit regimented, and they're very strict on the masks and all the protocols and stuff like that. But it's understandable. But it was definitely cool to experience that. Obviously, the top flight, and you get treated really, really well at these tournaments anyway. But the top flight's extra special. So I think we all thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think we did ourselves proud of the way we performed, and we're all pretty. I think we're all glad to be home. But at the same time, we love being a part of the Team GB program, and when we get together, it's extra special. So it's been fun.
Good, and I think those sentiments on how well you performed at the tournament has been felt by every single UK and GB hockey fan out there. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that was disappointed with the performance that GB put in at the tournament. Obviously, I took a look into it, looking at the stats compared for the 2019 tournament to the 2021 tournament, and I was talking on a podcast with one of my colleagues, and it's the little things that make the big difference at the end of the day, isn't it? So kind of comparing the 2019 tournament, obviously first time back up in the top flight, managed to stay up with the overtime win against France on the final day, to the 2021 tournament, which, especially in the first week of the group stage, it was very crazy with lots of the different results that were coming in. Some of the bigger titans of the international hockey scene kind of getting some shock upsets from the lower seeded sides. And obviously the historic win for Team GB against Belarus, first top flight victory in regulation in 60 years almost. So I can imagine that obviously 2019 was a big boost for the Team GB program and kind of the group of guys in the locker room, that you proved that you could stay up in the top flight. But I would imagine that's been even more cemented with this most recent tournament, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, we managed to stay up on that first tournament. That was our goal all along, and even though it came down to the wire, it was extra special. And I think after that moment, we kind of showed a lot of people. I think we all believed that we could stay at that level, and I think we showed a lot of doubters that we could. And then the same with this tournament. I mean, obviously, there wasn't as many NHL and players there for the different teams and stuff, but I think you still look up and down every roster compared to ours, and you look. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw a few tweets with like the games played for different teams we played against, of like NHL, AHL, KHL, and we might have had 80 something AHL games and the rest Elite League, and there's nothing else, right? So it's just a testament to us as a group, and just the way we perform. And we're not the most skilled, but we compete. And I said this before, we have the most heart and passion and desire. So I think it goes a long way. So it's definitely been extra special this year. Like you said, getting that first regulation win was huge. It would have been nice to get the OT one against Denmark, but a few penalties. I was one of them. So kind of cost us a little bit, but for sure, we definitely played some exceptional hockey against these top nations. So we're all really proud of it.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think the hard-working attitude of the way that you guys played, that you tried to be one of the hardest working teams at the tournament, regardless of your talent compared to the other teams or the experience that you've had in the top flights, like you mentioned. Because I think I did some of that research in terms of the games played myself, and the Belarus game, for example, their squad had over 5,000 KHL games played between their entire roster. So even if the game had been close and you'd still lost that game, it would have still been a valiant effort, and you guys would have proven that you could go head to head with some of the best hockey nations in the world. But the fact that you were able to win that and get such a historic win, it just goes to show you that sometimes it doesn't really matter what level you've played at. It's the group of guys in the locker room. And I kind of want to mention that because there was a notable amount of turnaround in the GB roster from this year compared to 2019. There was a lot of new faces. Some of them played more games than others, obviously. But do you think that injection of youth had anything to do with the success that you guys had compared to 2019? Or was it a mixture of the youth coming in and the experience that a lot of the other guys on the roster had from the 2019 tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's hard to pinpoint. I mean, for us, I think the success we had, if we had different faces on that team, like that, obviously a few regular guys like Forms and stuff like that, I think we'd have the same success just due to the fact that we play the right way, we play the way the coaches want us to play, and we just kind of believe in ourselves and our system, and I know that if we work hard that we'll get results. But I think the main thing is just bringing that youth in, especially for someone like me who's a younger guy. It's nice to see that we're starting to bring youth in and get them that experience. That's the main thing, right? It's going to be, this isn't like nothing against the old guys, but they're getting old, right? So I think we all kind of know that in a few years' time, some guys will start to retire, and there's a lot of big names that you're going to lose out on that GB team that have served the country for so many years, and you got to give a lot of credit to them guys because they were in the lower divisions and they've worked all the way up to get us to where we are now. So when they do decide to retire, then like I said, you lose out on a lot of that core team. So it's definitely good now while they're still here that we're bringing young guys in to get that experience and learn from these older guys and these veteran players and learn how it is to be a GB player at these top flights and what it takes to win. And I think it shows just the younger players came in. I say younger, but I'm the youngest one. But a lot of these guys my age, and we come in and we adapt to the game and we play hard and fast. And I think now that we've played at this level, we know what it takes. That God forbid we don't want this to happen, but if we do go down a division or two, that we know that we're able to fight back up, and we know what it takes to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you raise a good point that the older guys on the roster, the more veteran players that had to, grind it out in the lower divisions for many years, they were obviously instrumental in helping the GB squad get to where they've got to today. And I think obviously bringing in some of those younger guys and giving them more ice time while we still have those veteran guys around and while they're still playing at that high level, it's going to help when the transition eventually does happen, obviously, because, they've had the experience of playing with the veteran guys and knowing what it takes to win and everything like that. So I feel like GB is setting themselves up they're putting themselves in a good position to keep the cycle going once some of the guard has changed over the next few years. But we've talked about Team GB as a whole. I want to focus a little bit more on you, Liam. So I think it's fair to say that you're quite a modest guy when talking to the media. You very much give like the hockey player answers, which you would expect. I'm not worried about my own personal stat lines. I would just want to make sure the team wins games and perform well, which is of course very admirable. Absolutely. But come on, let's talk about how incredible your performance was at the World Championships. Now, I can very much imagine you'd credit it to a lot of the players that you had with you. Your forward line, obviously, at the World Championships was the highest scoring line for our team at the tournament. But, considering you led the group stage in goals scored and you tied for second in points, like from a player from the 19th ranked nation, like you mentioned, the youngest player on the Team GB roster, that's got to feel pretty great, right? Especially when you're looking back on it now, a couple of days after you've come home.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, it does feel great. And, I know the honourable and, humble answers get boring, but, it's the truth. And I fully believe that, for me, this whole tournament going into it was just, my mindset was just play the right way and play hard and just do the right things. And, there has been times in my playing days when I was younger that I got focused on trying to score goals and stuff like that. And when it doesn't happen, you play worse because of that. And I think if there's any young people watching that improve. Don't focus on the goals. Don't focus on trying to get points. Just play the right way, play hard, and enjoy the game. Obviously, I knew that there's going to be eyes on me for the reasons of the NHL and all that stuff. But I try not to focus on that and just literally focused on it. It's a tournament for your national team. It's an absolute honour. Go and enjoy it and have fun and just play hockey. With COVID this year, we've not really played a lot, and it makes you realise how much you miss the game and how much you just want to play. So, for me, it was an opportunity just to play the game, and I just wanted to have fun and enjoy it, but play the right way and play hard. And don't get me wrong, I'm extremely over the moon with the success I had, but for us, get that first regulation win for the country in so many years, it's just that's so special. I'd swap all them goals for us to go through and win a medal in the medal stages.
Of course.
But, like I said, definitely, happy. Like you said earlier as well, I have to give credit to my line mates. the whole team played exceptional, and you don't get success on your own. It's a team game. There's 5 guys, including the goalie on the ice. So, um, I was lucky enough to just be in the right place at the right time, and took my chances when they came.
Absolutely. And I think you raised such a good point about, especially to younger players that focus so much on points, because it very much is a numbers game a lot of the time. And for younger players or people trying to break into whether it be semi-pro, pro, or anything like that, if they feel like they're not scoring enough, then it's just as much a mind game as it is a physical game, isn't it? So I'd imagine, just if you focus on the intangibles, then focusing on the intangibles, then the good things will come, the goals and the points will come, and everything like that. So just wanted to ask also, I think we should mention your line at the World Championships, because obviously we've alluded to them slightly before that. But what do you think? Because obviously I've got the number here that your line combined for 10 of Great Britain's 13 goals at the tournament this year. Now, what do you think it was about the setup of your line, or the way that you guys played, that contributed so much to putting pucks in the opposing team's net and making life a bit difficult for the opposing teams to defend against?
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess you do have to put down that there is some puck luck for things like that, like the goal against Sweden. There's a lot of puck luck, but I think just it's hard to say, because the whole team played exceptionally well.
Yeah.
We all play the right way, but obviously, our top 2 lines, that's the emphasis for us is to try and create offense and score goals. And like I said, the line switched a little bit. A few games I played with Pills and Cons, and then Cons and Dowdy, and then Hammy and Dowdy, and Hammy and Cons. So the lines were changing a lot. So there wasn't just one set line that was contributing. I think we all played the right way. Mizey got a huge goal on the power play. Ben Davies, their line against Belarus, that was a huge turning point to the game. That second goal. So they I think it all just came from playing the right way again. They get on a forecheck, they make a good hit in the play, and Benny finished it off. So, like I said, I don't think there's any certain reason for it. I think we're expected to obviously produce more than the other lines, and we just tried to do our job, really.
Absolutely, and you did it very well. Whichever line you were on and whichever players were playing with you all seemed to do the job really well. So no complaints here. But obviously, there's been some talk about the media's all-star team. By the sounds of the way you talk, you're not that bothered, I would think, about if you're called up to the all-star team, or you're very much a person, by talking to you, that the individual accolades don't necessarily mean as much as team success, which of course is very admirable. But obviously the all-star team and the possibility based on, the teams that are through to the semi-final stage, because I think the tournament ends by the weekend, so we've only got a couple more days left to go and all of the games will be done. Do you think anybody's going to catch your 7 goals? Do you think you're going to finish the tournament with the most goals?
I don't know. I definitely didn't think I would after the group stages ended. But there's only 2 games left, right? And maybe a goal or 2 ahead. So there is a possibility, right? And it definitely, don't get me wrong, it'd be really cool. It's definitely something that I didn't expect. But like I said, it's just one of the things that if it happens, it happens. And for sure, it will be a nice feeling, for sure.
Absolutely. You alluded to something earlier, which I think is quite important. And going off that, focus on the intangibles, and the goals and the points will come if you just keep playing the right way and keep doing the little things. I feel like, and you feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, since you're playing at a much higher level than I ever would have. But I feel like tunnel vision and kind of compartmentalizing every game is such an important thing for pro athletes to do, whether it be hockey players or, NBA players, MLB players, NFL players, anything like that. I feel like kind of focusing solely on the next game that you have to play is so important for, resetting after a tough loss, or focusing solely on, just making sure your team gets the next win and building off momentum. Like, how important, or do you find that you really compartmentalize each game one by one, and once one's done, you completely just like eliminate it from your mind and move on to the next one?
I don't think we ever eliminate games, but I think in hockey you do have to have a short memory.
Yeah.
It's a game that happens so quick, and there's so many little mistakes that can happen that you can overthink on and stuff like that. But I think you do your best to turn a page quickly. Obviously, you want to reflect on it. See where you can improve and small details like that. But especially when you're playing the next day, you need to refocus and re-prepare yourself, your mind, your body for that next game. But yeah, I definitely say you do have to have a short memory because if you dwell on it, it only makes things worse, right? It's the same in any walk of life. So, but other than that, I think you just got to be positive about it. We had a few games where we thought we could have done better. The Czech game, and I think there's a Sweden game as well. But it's a quick turnaround to the next one. So, like I said, you just reflect and see where you improve, but get focused on the next one.
I think that's where the World Championships is a good example of that, because obviously the games are so tightly packed from one day to the next that you don't really have time to dwell on your recent performance, because the next day or 2 days later you're immediately back on the ice playing another game. So that must really help into that kind of mentality, right?
Yeah, like you said, it comes around so quick. It's different in the different leagues you play in, but there's sometimes where you play a game on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you wouldn't play till the next weekend. So you have a full week to think about what didn't go right or what went right. It's the same thing for when you have success, so you can't get too caught up on it. Like I said, you can have a game where you play really well and have lots of success, but if you get caught just thinking about that, then the next game might not be as good as you think it's going to be, and then you get caught up in it in a little circle of just good things and bad things. So I think just like I said, take every game as it comes and just keep focused on the task in hand.
Absolutely. So we've obviously talked a lot about the World Championships. I think it's fair to say for every hockey player this year that, the 2019 or the 2020/2021 season has been a roller coaster ride, to say the least. Obviously, you were supposed to play one final year with the Peterborough Petes in the OHL. You ended up going to Sweden for a little while. You ended up coming back to Sheffield to play in the Elite Series. Then obviously you go off to the World Championships. So I can imagine that this season has been quite a hectic one for you. Could you just talk about what the experience has been like for you, and kind of how you've managed to deal or cope with the craziness that has been this last year, especially as like a pro athlete who, playing games is the most important, like it's your day-to-day job. And if that's not running anymore, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it's funny you say about the day-to-day job thing, right? Like for me, we got sent home from Canada really early because of the COVID and whatnot, and you expect to be back in August or whatnot. But I think in August time, I was helping out at Morrison's in the morning, just as something to do and to keep the bank topped up. So it's funny how things can change so quickly, right? At that time, you're thinking, when am I ever going to play again? And in a few months' time, I got a little bit of hockey in Sweden, which was nice because I wanted to get my cardio up, because at the time, like I said, I thought I was going back to Canada in January. So for me, it was just getting a little bit of cardio, and that kind of came and went. And then I come home to go to Canada, and then in a matter of days, you start doing nothing again because of the quarantine rules and the OHL not going ahead. So then you don't know what's going to happen. And there's rumours of the Elite League going, and that sounds like it's not going to happen. Then the Spring Cup starts, and then when the Elite League starts, then you start to get back to a little bit of normality. And I think in them times when you're not playing and you feel like nothing's going to happen, it can be quite stressful and worrying. But I was saying to a few guys the other day on the way back, 8-9 months ago, none of us were playing hockey, none of us had jobs unless you were working in Morrison's like me. And then we've just come back from the World Championships, and they were all just kind of laughing away and saying, "Then you top goal scorer." So it's a big change. It's definitely a big turnaround in them 9 months. But I think it just goes to show, like, don't really want to kind of move on to a sad topic or stuff, but that mental struggle that people might be having during COVID and these times, that things do get better. And I'm living proof that if it feels like you're never going to play hockey again, that you will. And don't worry, it'll come round. You just got to stay positive and keep believing, keep happy, keep moving forward. Things do get better.
Yeah, you just got to keep your head up, and you could end up leading the world championship in goals. Like, why not? You just got to be a little bit patient.
If you had said that 9-10 months ago, I'd have laughed you off. So
exactly, it's crazy, right?
It's pretty crazy.
So obviously, the Peterborough Petes and your time in the OHL, I think it's fair to say, was a very successful period for you. Obviously, a lot of UK hockey fans loved the fact that you went over there and were playing in the OHL, and you had a really successful time. And it looked like the 2021 season was going to be a breakout year for you, and you were really going to end your time in the OHL on a high note. How disappointing was it to find out that you weren't going to get the chance to go back and have that final year with the team?
Yeah, it was really, really tough, really sad to hear. Got a lot of really close friends over there, and I really wanted that last opportunity to play with them, to play with my teammates. And it was tough the way it ended the first time that COVID came around. We had a championship team, and we thought for sure, we all truly believed, and I still believe that we'd have won an OHL championship that year. And how cool would that have been? But you get that taken away from you, and it is definitely really tough. And then you're thinking that, okay, that's happened, that's over and done with, I'll be back playing for my overage year, and then you get that taken away from you. It is definitely, it was tough, it was sad, but we said, like we were talking about just a minute ago, you might feel like it's the end of the world or whatever, but things can turn around if you just stay positive and just keep believing, and just keep going forward day by day. So, but no, my time in Peter was, I can't say enough good things about it. I've said this something before. I wrote a little thing for the Pete's on my graduation day, just thanking everyone. That the organisation was great with me, teammates were great, coaches were exceptional. My billets, I can't say enough good things about them. They were exceptional, and just to everybody that supported me on that journey as well. Thank you. It was, I'm glad I could bring you guys along with me, especially the British fans, and they could experience that. And hopefully that there's more to do it in the future. There's lots of young British talent coming up. So, hopefully I'm not the last one to do it. Hopefully there's, hopefully that I've done okay enough that they take a chance on some more British guys and, give these people the opportunity, because there's a lot of good British players coming up, and, I think that they deserve that chance. So, hopefully people start to take notice now.
Absolutely. I think you did all right, Liam. I think we'll be all right. But obviously your time in the OHL, I think it's fair to say also that your game improved leaps and bounds. Like, you came back a completely different player. I think a lot of people would say, after your several seasons in the OHL and playing in Peterborough and kind of really refining your game against some of the top junior players in North America and the world, to be fair. What do you think is the biggest difference that you made to your game, or the biggest thing that improved, or kind of the biggest impact that playing in the OHL for a couple of years had on your overall game?
Yeah, I think, I had to adjust a lot. When I first got over there, I didn't expect it to be as fast, as skilled as it was. I thought, oh, I'm coming from a pro league in England, I'll be fine. It was a big, shock and a wake up call. And, I had a tough time adjusting, which, made it harder. But, I had a great support system around me, which only helped. And, there's a time when it first started, I was like, oh, can I even do this? Can I keep going? Like, and I stuck with it. I really can't say enough on how much it helped getting away and just learning the North American style of hockey, having to adjust to the pace, the speed of things, the physicality, the smaller ice. It definitely helped my game, and it gave me a lot of confidence. Definitely in my second year, getting awarded an alternate captain, and getting that trust from the coaching staff, playing more minutes, power play, penalty kill, it only helped grow my confidence, so that when I come and play for the national team or whatever, I felt more confident and like I could do more, and was the player that I always thought I could be. So, it helped me come on leaps and bounds, and I would never ever change the journey, even though that start was really hard. I'd never change, because it got me here today. So
it kind of makes the end result even sweeter, right? Because you had that adjustment period and kind of trying to adjust to a different style of game. I think one of the biggest areas of improvement that I think a lot of GB fans saw, and especially some of the commentators, was the defensive side of the game. Was there, I would imagine so, but was there a huge emphasis on making sure that you as a forward had to come back and play just as well in the defensive zone as you would in the offensive zone, especially playing against really strong North American junior players in the OHL?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you know him, but imagine Rob Wilson screaming at you if you make a mistake in the D zone. Like, you only want to get a little better at defense. No, but I always wanted to improve that side of my game. As a junior in England, I didn't really have to worry about it. So, it's a big shock when I got to the elite league, and even then, I didn't really know much. I didn't play that much, so so when I got to Canada, when you're going to be playing a lot, you need to make sure that you know how to play all over the ice. So I definitely tried to work on that as much as I could. And like I said, it's if you make mistakes and keep making mistakes in that area of the ice, you're not going to play. So the coaching staff took the time with me and were patient, but they kept just kind of teaching me, and I just wanted to learn as much as I could. So it was definitely an area that I wanted to improve on, and still want to improve on now.
Absolutely. I feel like, especially with a lot of these areas of the game, even the greatest players that ever played, that they always want to keep improving. There's something with athletes that you notice, regardless of whatever sport it is, like they're never satisfied with any part of their game. They want to keep improving, and that's such an admirable trait, obviously. But we've obviously talked about all the stuff that's happened over the last year and kind of your experience in the OHL. What's next for Liam Kirk? Obviously, you're not able to go back to the OHL. I would imagine your recent performance at the World Championships may have opened up a few different opportunities. Obviously, I'd imagine you can't talk about any specific ones here, but what's the kind of sense that you've got? Like, are we looking North America? Are we looking Europe? Like, what's the kind of trajectory that you want to take for the following season?
Well, I mean, it's never been a secret. My goal is always to get to the NHL and, to get an NHL entry level contract. So, that is my goal. But, people take different journeys to get there, and, mine's definitely been a different one. So, like I said, I don't really, this is genuine honest, like right now it's still really early on after the World Championships. So, my agent's on top of things, trying to find out all my options and the best ones that are going to help me develop and get that entry level contract. So, it's just going to be one of them watch this space kind of things, because it's the same for me right now. I'm not in the dark, but obviously, I'm still kind of trying to find out all the little details and what my options are and what's best for me. So.
Absolutely. And I would very much imagine that your agent's phone is going to be ringing off the hook over the next couple of months. Obviously, it's the off season now, so you deserve a rest, Liam. Enjoy yourself, play some Warzone, have a good time. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Liam. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we can, in a couple of years' time or whatever, can have you back on and you'll be a regular in the NHL, and you can talk to us about the journey that you've had in order to get there, and you can sit there and make all us GB fans proud that we've stuck it out and watched you achieve your dream and kind of our dream in the process as well, getting a GB player that's born and bred here to get and play in the NHL. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and enjoy your off season.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
And there you go, folks. That was my interview with Team GB star Liam Kirk. As you can tell, he's a very modest guy, but very confident in his abilities, and he's got a great sense of humour to him. I wish him nothing but the best for next season and moving forwards, and hopefully he can make it to the NHL and do all of us GB fans proud. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this interview and this video as a whole. Do let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you're interested in this kind of stuff and you'd like to see me interview more players, whether it's from GB or from from the international hockey circuit as a whole, do let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Connor B, Drew Fawcett, Houston NG, Jordan Whitehead, Saeed, Twin Sanity Dad, and Worthless Pieces, as well as a huge thank you to Carl Fairbank for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.